Right, it's about a week or so, maybe 14, maybe 13 days away from unlocking the next Battle Pass season and going through some of the 2.7 data mine. Today, we're going to take a look at possibly some of the vehicles that could be your new Battle Pass rewards. If that, or maybe there might be an event at some point. Everyone remembers this 2.7 data mine from July of this year. Most of the vehicles and event vehicles that have come out of this have already been released or have been put in the update in the patch. The F-105 hasn't necessarily been done, and the ADIC, which is the Taiwanese, Chinese F5, again, hasn't been found. But there's also the Battlecruiser Stalingrad and several other things in there. There's a Gneisenau, there's HMS Hood, there's a bunch of other things. And this leak was substantial because it provided us with insight to what could be coming towards the game, and I did a video on that earlier. But more importantly, we have a selection of 4 vehicles in today's video, which you would have seen in the thumbnail, which I think are decent-ish contenders, if not the Battle Pass vehicles that we will be getting. Now, the Battleship Fuso was also spotted in a DMM video yesterday. Plenty of other content creators have jumped on the bandwagon to try and get in and tell you that this thing is coming to game. But let me tell you this much, it was already in these game files, which, you know, is pretty interesting in itself. These vehicles are just sitting there ready to use. Whether they get the damage models ready or not in time for an update, it just proves to the community that there has been content that has been developed, at least model-wise, before its introduction towards the game. What's really a takeaway from this is you've got multiple things going on here. They're obviously outsourcing a lot of models, and considering the fact that we've had 30 event vehicles last year, and this year we'll probably have about 32. Last year we got about 290 odd vehicles in game. That's a lot of models to get ready for, so the dev team must be incredibly squeezed to try and get things right, which is probably why there's so many dev servers in a way, because they're tweaking things and trying to get them A-okay. But what kind of vehicles would we expect to see in the next Battle Pass season? Now, it's going to end on October 27th, and it's currently the 14th right now. This is going to be the first vehicle, probably out of the list of vehicles here. There is a PKV-3, which has a smaller gun. However, in and itself, it's not really interesting enough for a low-tier reward. There is, however, something else that could be, considering we got this last time. And we already have its brother, the Pack Track, with the long 75, and we've also got one with the short 37 on top, so this could be our new Battle Pass reward vehicle, or maybe the Operation Winter. Regardless, I'm more inclined to think it's the Panzer 38 NA, which is this variant right here. Again, you've got essentially what can be summarized as a Panzer 38. Really, a Panzer 35, so a Panzer 38T that's been upgraded slightly. And what more is there to say? Battle Pass vehicle? Who knows? It's a low tier enough that it could be rank 1, maybe rank 2, so it fits that kind of bill. But ultimately, no one really knows at this stage. We'll have to wait until the 27th, or maybe they'll publish a dev blog announcing that soon. Moving on. This is intriguing. They always include an aircraft in the Battle Pass. I really wish they wouldn't have bothered, because they have actually gone ahead and added the A6M6, and they tend to give us really terrible aircraft for the Battle Pass, so I'm inclined to say that this would probably be the aircraft out of the list of vehicles that were shown in the leak, at least the 2.7 leak from July. This will most likely end up by being the Spitfire of choice. This is the Mark 7, and it was a high intercept version with a cockpit that was fully pressurized. The wings are designed for it to go higher. The crews absolutely hated flying this thing. They hated maintaining it. As a result, they went and moved on to the Mark 8, which then led to the Mark 9 development series. So pretty important. One of these intercepted a JU something or other, a German bomber that was pressurized over 1942 and set the altitude record for the highest interception or the highest kill in World War II. One of the Mark 7s did that. So again, a nice addition. But unfortunately, the CDK models sometimes just sit in the files and never see the light of day in the video games, which is kind of sad. Also, keep in mind that there might be a Battle Pass vehicle relating to China too. Remember, I did a video about 2 years ago when I hit 30,000 subscribers, showcasing that there were some Chinese event vehicles that were hidden inside the live game files and not the community development kit. It is worth mentioning that because, well, you know, those are interesting vehicles on their own right, even if they are Japanese aircraft that have been captured and utilised by the Chinese. But it looks like for now the Mark 7 Spitfire is probably going to be the vehicle of choice, at least flying around in the next season, number 4. At least that's my prediction, at least. The next vehicle is American. Now, we already had one American Franken tank. This is another prototype variant based upon a non-oscillating turret of its twin brother. There's already one existing in the game. It is a premium American rank 4 heavy tank, I presume it is. I don't actually own this. I don't know much about this vehicle at all. The Tiffy-24E1 is its cousin, I suppose. It's a rank 5 battle rating 8.0. It's 8,560 golden birds, and it sort of just sits there and not really a lot of people play it. And this thing kind of reminds me of that in a way. Same sort of rounded hull. I presume it's the same armament, that being that of a, well, I think it's a 105mm gun, a couple of 12.7s and a 7.62, so it should be relatively the same as its cousin, as well as it's got a commander cupola and turret on the top there, which looks pretty interesting, I do say so. I don't know if it will get any sort of special shells, whether it will get T18E1 or the T7E2 or even the T29 8E1 shell, which is the EDF-S. Maybe it will just go with the APDS T279 shell instead, but again, pretty nice. This could be essentially the high tier award. Now, I could be wrong here, and I certainly hope I am, but we could get the Cessna with floats, right? This thing seems like a bunch of fun, right? Am I right? Well, again, you can see that in the other video where I talk about the Viggen and the Viggen's leak, essentially. There is a bunch of other aircraft like the Welkens, and I believe some sort of Hornet variants. There is a Swedish helicopter, and there is a P-59, which is a naval variant. So again, lots of things to choose from that could be considered event vehicles or even regular tech tree vehicles. And that really is, I guess, high speculation. With these type of videos, there is no solid concrete evidence. What we have here is a list of vehicles that is so long that if I was to go through all of them, we'd be here for 60 years. But it's just amazing that they managed to leak this in July, because now we've sort of figured out what the rest of the year is going to look like. I think that's the more amazing part. What do you think in the comments down below? Let me know if you think that these vehicles that I've mentioned here would be fun and engaging as a Battle Pass vehicle or a reward. Remember, they can't be too overpowered or else, you know, you'll have issues. But it's good to see that update groundbreaking, or should I say update game breaking, is coming to fruition. So it'd be nice to see what happens in the next few weeks. Stay tuned. There'll be a dev server probably soon, and maybe even some interesting spicy devlogs. Keep an eye out for that, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.